My dear listener, you know, the power of your words is more than just sound. It's the force that shapes your destiny. Every word you speak is like planting a seed in the soil of your life. Some words bring life, others bring death. But here's the truth many miss. You don't have to be a victim of your own tongue. You can choose what you say. Imagine for a moment if every word you released was carefully measured, intentional, filled with purpose. What would your life look like then? Because the tongue is a small part of the body, yet it has the power to steer your course, to build your future or destroy it. The challenge is not just to speak, but to speak with control, because uncontrolled words are like wild arrows, hitting targets you never aimed for. So ask yourself, who is controlling your mouth today? Is it your emotions, your fears, your habits? Or is it your wisdom, your vision, your purpose? The moment you take charge of what you say, you take charge of your life. Words are not just sounds, they are seeds of destiny. Learn to control what you say, and you begin to control what you become. The words you speak are far more than just sounds carried on the air. They are the very seeds that plant your future. Have you ever stopped to consider that your destiny is being written every moment through the words you choose to say? The Bible tells us in Proverbs 18:21, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits. This means your words have the power to bring life or death, not just physically, but spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. What you speak over yourself and your circumstances will either lift you higher or pull you down deeper. Think about it. If you plant an apple seed, what do you expect to grow? An orange tree? No. It's the nature of that seed that determines the fruit. In the same way, your words are seeds planted in the soil of your life. If you continually speak defeat, failure, and limitation, you water those seeds with negativity, and that is exactly the fruit you will harvest. But if you begin to speak victory, purpose, and faith, you nurture seeds that produce success, confidence, and breakthrough. The question is, what kind of garden are you tending with your words? Is it full of weeds, choking out your potential? Or is it flourishing with the fruits of promise and destiny? Many people underestimate this power because they think words are just temporary. But words are the invisible architects of your reality. You can say, I can't do this, and it will become a self-fulfilling prophecy. Or you can say, I am capable, I am strong, I am destined for greatness. And over time, those words will carve a path for you that others may not see yet. What you speak, you begin to believe, and what you believe, you begin to live out. Now, consider the impact of words in relationships, in business, and in everyday life. How often do careless words cause rifts between loved ones? How many opportunities are lost because someone spoke doubt instead of encouragement? Words can be like a surgeon's scalpel, precise and healing, or like a sledgehammer, destructive and heavy. The power to choose which tool to use is always in your hands. Will you choose to build bridges or walls with your speech? It's important to remember that controlling your words isn't about silence or suppressing your voice. It's about intentionality, speaking with purpose and wisdom. It's about understanding that every phrase you release into the world has consequences. When you wake up each morning, what kind of seeds will you plant with your words today? Will you water the fields of your dreams with doubt or with faith? Ask yourself this: if you were a gardener of your life, what would you prune? What weeds in your speech need to be uprooted? What flowers need more light to bloom? You have the choice to cultivate a language of life, encouragement, and empowerment, or you can allow negativity, fear, and limitation to rule your speech garden. The condition of your life tomorrow depends on the seeds you plant today in the form of words. So remember, the power is in your tongue. Speak life, speak hope, speak destiny. Because the words you release are not just expressions, they are declarations of who you are becoming. Control your speech, and you control your future. The tongue may be small, but its power is immense beyond measure. Have you ever noticed how something so tiny can cause such great impact? Just like a small rudder controls the direction of a massive ship, your tongue steers the course of your life and relationships. The Bible reminds us in James 3:5-6, so also the tongue is a small member, yet it boasts of great things. How great a forest is set ablaze by such a small fire. This teaches us that although the tongue is physically small, it can ignite destruction or spark transformation. Think about the analogy of a tiny spark landing in a dry forest. That little flame can grow uncontrollably, burning everything in its path. Your words are like that spark. They can either start fires that destroy dreams, relationships, and reputations, or they can kindle warmth, hope, and growth. Just as a fire needs fuel, your words feed either negativity or positivity in your life. What kind of fire are you fueling with your speech? In real life, we often see how one careless word can change the course of a conversation or even a life. Consider the impact of rumors, gossip, or harsh criticism. They spread rapidly, much like wildfire, leaving pain and broken trust behind. On the other hand, a single encouraging word can rebuild confidence, restore hope, and inspire someone to rise above their challenges. This is the immense power held in your tongue. Many people overlook the fact that their tongue is a weapon and a builder at the same time. It can be the tool that constructs the foundation of your success or the instrument that tears down what you have worked hard to build. Imagine trying to build a house, brick by brick, only to have someone come and knock down a few bricks with a single careless word. Would you allow that? Yet, we often do this to ourselves and others with our uncontrolled speech. Ask yourself, are your words building or breaking? Are you using your tongue to create, encourage, and uplift, or are you tearing down your own potential and relationships? The challenge lies in recognizing that the tongue is not just a passive organ of speech. It is an active agent in shaping your reality. You may not see the immediate effects of your words, but they are always at work, either building or destroying beneath the surface. Consider the way a small leak in a dam can eventually cause the entire structure to fail. If you neglect controlling what you say, those small leaks, negative words, careless comments, unkind criticisms, will erode your life's foundation. But if you manage your tongue, you strengthen the dam, ensuring that your life's course remains steady and secure. Controlling the tongue requires discipline, much like controlling any other powerful force. It's not easy, and it demands awareness and intentionality. But what if you started today with a commitment to harness the power of your words? Imagine how your life would change if every sentence you spoke was filled with wisdom, kindness, and faith. How would your relationships improve? How would your mindset shift? There's also a deeper spiritual truth here. The words you speak align you with either life or death, blessing or curse. When your tongue is untamed, it sets your whole being on a destructive path. When it is controlled, it leads to peace, growth, and fulfillment. So the question is not whether your tongue has power, it does, but whether you have power over your tongue. What would it look like for you to master this power? How would your daily conversations change? How would your inner world transform if you committed to speak only what builds and blesses? The smallest member of your body holds the greatest influence over your life's direction. The choice to control it or let it run wild is yours. Your tongue is a mighty force. Control it well, and you control the course of your life. To speak with control is to take the reins of your own life's direction. Words are not just expressions of thought. They are powerful tools that guide your journey and shape your reality. Imagine your words as the steering wheel of a car. Without your hands firmly on the wheel, the vehicle drifts aimlessly, vulnerable to every bump and curve in the road. But when you grasp that wheel with intentionality and focus, you can navigate your path with purpose and precision. The Bible reminds us in Proverbs 25:28, a man without self-control is like a city broken into and left without walls. Without control over what you say, you leave your life open to chaos and damage. Think about a city without walls. How vulnerable it would be to attacks, how easily destruction could come in. Your tongue is like that city's gatekeeper. When you lack control over it, you allow harmful words, negativity, and confusion to enter and take root. But when you learn to govern your speech, you build strong walls of protection around your character, relationships, and destiny. Real life gives us countless examples of the difference controlled speech can make. Consider leaders, mentors, or even teachers who inspire because they choose their words carefully. Their speech is deliberate, measured, and filled with intention. They understand that each word carries weight and potential consequence. Their controlled speech influences their audience, motivates change, and fosters trust. On the other hand, someone who speaks impulsively, letting emotions drive their words, often leaves behind confusion, hurt, and lost opportunities. Ask yourself this: when you speak, are your words serving as a compass, guiding you toward your goals, or are they random, leaving you lost and scattered? Do your words reflect the vision you have for your life, or do they reveal the chaos of unfiltered emotions? Speaking with control doesn't mean you silence your voice or hide your feelings. It means you channel them with wisdom and purpose. Control over your speech also means choosing what to say and when to say it. Timing is crucial. Have you ever regretted saying something in the heat of the moment? Impulsive words can burn bridges and close doors that careful speech might have kept open. Learning to pause, reflect, and speak only what aligns with your higher purpose is a discipline that protects your life's trajectory. Imagine the power of a captain who, before issuing commands, carefully assesses the situation and communicates clearly. That captain's crew works in harmony, confident in the direction they are headed. Your speech is your command center. When you control it, you lead yourself and others with clarity and strength. Control in speech also cultivates respect. People listen when you speak with intention because they sense your words are not random noise, but thoughtful guidance. It builds your credibility and influence. Conversely, unchecked speech can lead to misunderstanding, damaged reputations, and lost influence. Consider also the internal effect of controlled speech. When you master your words, you also master your thoughts and emotions. It's a reflection of inner discipline that spills over into every area of your life. You begin to speak hope instead of despair, confidence instead of doubt, solutions instead of problems. This shift does not happen by accident, it happens by choice. What if you decided today that your words would no longer be wild arrows shooting in every direction, but precise instruments aimed at your destiny? What difference would it make if your speech consistently aligned with your purpose and values? Would your relationships improve? Would your opportunities multiply? Would your peace increase? You hold in your tongue the steering wheel of your life. Learn to speak with control, and you will direct your path with power and clarity. Emotions and habits often control what we say unless we make a conscious decision to take charge. It's easy to fall into patterns where our words are driven by anger, fear, frustration, or even old habits that have formed over time. The Bible gives us a clear warning about this in Proverbs 29:11. A fool gives full vent to his spirit, but a wise man quietly holds it back. This reminds us that uncontrolled emotions can cause us to speak words we later regret, while wisdom is found in restraint and thoughtful expression. Think about how many times you've said something in the heat of the moment, only to wish you could take it back. Your emotions can become like a floodgate rushing out in a torrent of words that you don't fully control. Habits, on the other hand, are like grooves worn deep into a path. When you travel that path often enough, it becomes automatic. You speak in certain ways without even thinking about it. But what if you could break those grooves and create new ones? Paths that lead to speech filled with purpose and life. Imagine driving a car with a faulty steering wheel. Every time you try to turn, it pulls you in the wrong direction because the mechanism is stuck in a certain position. That's what uncontrolled emotions and habits do to your speech. They steer your words without your intentional input. You may feel like you're not really in control, but the truth is you can regain control if you decide to do so. Ask yourself, how often do your words reflect your emotions rather than your true intentions? How many times have habits of negativity, sarcasm, or criticism shaped what you say before you even realize it? The good news is you are not a prisoner to your emotions or habits. You have the power to pause, reflect, and choose your words deliberately. This is where self-awareness becomes your greatest tool. Real-life examples abound of people who have allowed their emotions to dominate their speech, resulting in broken relationships, lost jobs, or missed opportunities. Conversely, those who practice emotional intelligence, who can recognize and manage their feelings before speaking, build bridges, inspire trust, and open doors. Emotional control in speech is not about suppressing feelings, it's about channeling them appropriately. Consider the story of someone who receives criticism. The initial emotional reaction might be defensiveness or anger. If that person speaks immediately out of that emotion, they might lash out and damage the relationship. But if they pause, breathe, and respond thoughtfully, their words can turn a potential conflict into a constructive conversation. This kind of control over speech transforms not only the moment, but also the trajectory of relationships and opportunities. Habits, too, require conscious effort to change. Just like training a muscle, you must practice speaking differently to rewire your responses. If you've grown accustomed to complaining or negative self-talk, you can replace those patterns with words of gratitude and encouragement. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes, and your speech becomes an extension of your renewed mindset. Ask yourself, what habits of speech are you ready to leave behind? What emotional triggers cause you to lose control of your words? How would your life change if you could respond instead of react? Learning to control what you say is about more than just words. It's about mastering yourself. Remember, your emotions and habits are powerful, but they do not have to control your speech. When you commit to speaking with intention rather than impulse, you begin to build a life rooted in wisdom and purpose. The choice is yours to make, and it begins with a single decision to speak with control. Controlling your words is the first step to controlling your future. It might sound simple, but it is one of the most profound truths about how we shape our lives. Every choice you make in speech sends out ripples that return to you in ways you may not immediately see. Imagine dropping a stone into a still pond. The ripples spread far beyond the point of impact. Your words are just like those ripples. They travel through your relationships, your opportunities, and ultimately, the very course of your life. Think about a skilled gardener tending to a delicate plant. The gardener must carefully water the plant, remove the weeds, and protect it from harsh weather. In this analogy, your words are the water and the fertilizer for your life's garden. If you water with negativity or careless speech, the garden will wither and fail to grow. But if you water it with encouragement, faith, and vision, your life blooms with possibility. Controlling your words means you are actively nurturing the future you desire. In everyday life, the importance of this principle is clear. Consider a workplace environment where communication is careless and uncontrolled. Gossip spreads, misunderstandings arise, and conflicts escalate. The company suffers, and the future of careers within it becomes uncertain. On the other hand, a workplace where communication is clear, respectful, and intentional fosters teamwork, innovation, and growth. The future of that workplace and its people becomes bright. What we say and how we say it influences outcomes far beyond the moment of speaking. Ask yourself, if your words today could create the blueprint for your life tomorrow, what kind of blueprint would you want to build? Would it be one of encouragement, resilience, and success? Or would it be filled with doubt, fear, and limitation? The control of your speech is the control of your destiny. Another real-life example is found in relationships. Words can build trust and intimacy or cause distance and pain. A single phrase of appreciation can strengthen a bond, while harsh criticism can fracture it. Imagine your words as bricks in the foundation of your relationships. Every kind word lays a strong brick. Every careless or hurtful word removes one. Over time, your speech either builds a fortress of love and respect or a fragile wall ready to crumble. How intentional are you about the words you use with those you care about? The power of controlled speech extends to self-talk as well. What do you say to yourself in moments of doubt or challenge? Do your words lift you up or tear you down? Your inner dialogue often becomes the lens through which you view your potential. If you are constantly telling yourself, I can't, or this is too hard, your future becomes limited by those words. But if you speak life into yourself, declaring strength, capability, and purpose, you set a course toward achievement and fulfillment. Consider the ripple effect of your words beyond your immediate circle. A kind word can inspire a stranger to keep going. An encouraging message can motivate a colleague to push through a difficult task. What you say is not confined to your own life. It travels and influences many others. How powerful would it be to realize that controlling your words could positively affect the future of those around you? Controlling what you say is a discipline that opens the door to greater wisdom, peace, and success. It's a daily decision to speak life, even when circumstances tempt you to do otherwise. The future belongs to those who understand the power of their words and choose to wield it wisely. So ask yourself, are you ready to take control of your speech and in doing so, take control of your future? The first step toward the future you desire begins with the words you choose today. As you reflect on the power of your words, remember that learning to control what you say is not just about discipline, it's about embracing your authority to shape your destiny. Your speech is the foundation upon which your life is built, the steering wheel guiding your journey, and the seed that grows into your future. Choose your words carefully, speak with intention, and let every word you release carry the power to build, encourage, and empower. I pray you walk boldly in this truth, mastering your tongue and unlocking the greatness within you. Thank you for investing your time today. May your words bring life, your heart remain strong, and your future be filled with blessings. Good luck on this journey of powerful speech and purposeful living.